It was a crisp Tuesday morning when the screams of second graders pierced the air, blending with the screech of tires and the sickening crunch of glass. A sheriff's prison transport van, its side emblazoned with the county logo, lurched over the median, plowed through a handmade "slow down for safety" sign, and smashed into the statue of Willow Creek Elementary's founder, Margaret Hensley. The statue's head rolled into the staff parking lot like a grim trophy. Amid the chaos, a convict slipped free, vanishing between two school buses. And there, standing with arms crossed and a smug grin, was Leonard Baxter, the neighborhood's most infamous HOA enforcer, muttering, "That'll teach him," as he admired the spiked strip he'd buried in the mulch just hours before. Leonard wasn't your average retiree. While most folks his age were golfing or spoiling grandkids, Leonard was waging war on chaos. From his front window, armed with military-grade binoculars, he'd scowl at the morning school drop-off like it was a battlefield. SUVs swerved, minivans honked, and kids tumbled out of cars like paratroopers. "This ain't a racetrack, it's a school zone," he'd grumble, sipping coffee from a mug that read, "I don't call 911, I call the HOA." His wife, Ellen, had moved to the guest room years ago, citing personal space. His daughter, Mia, had emotionally relocated to another galaxy, citing Sir V.Y. Val. But Leonard? He was a one-man army, the self-appointed guardian of Willow Creek's order. The day before the crash, Leonard had a VY shout. HOA ruled the 7-inch residents may take initiative to maintain safety and aesthetics was his gospel, and he'd been elected safety liaison 3 years straight. Never mind that he ran unopposed. To him, authorized was just bureaucracy's way of saying coward. So, in his garage, command center crafted a spike strip from old bike chains and roofing nails, a contraption so VY Sias, MOVY, EVY Lane would blush. He camouflaged it under mulch near the curve where parents loved to floor it, and by dawn, he was ready, neon vest on, body cam rolling, VY-olation pad in hand. The first car hit the strip at 7:45 a.m. A hiss, a pop, a screech of brakes. Leonard's heart sang. "Slow down for the kids," he barked through a megaphone. The second car, then the third, flat tires piled up like trophies. But at 8:13 a.m., the real show began. A sheriff's transport van, carrying 2 prisoners to the courthouse, barreled into the trap. The sound was like popcorn in a metal drum. The van spun, crashed, and chaos erupted. Kids screamed, teachers herded them inside, and Leonard stood there, hands on hips, like a general who just won a war. Deputy Sarah Coleman arrived 10 minutes later, her cruiser's lights flashing, her face unreadable behind a VY-8ers. She surveyed the wreckage. 4 flat tires, 1 prisoner bleeding, another gone, and Leonard looking prouder than a peacock. "Please tell me this wasn't you," she said, voice flat. Leonard blinked. "Technically, it was the HOA." Sarah sighed. "Technically, you're nuts." She'd tangled with Leonard before once over her cruiser parked 2 inches past his in VY Cybele optical line, which led to a 3-hour HOA meeting she still had nightmares about. But this was a new level of crazy. Sarah crouched by the spike strip, now half exposed. "This is artisanal," she said, almost impressed. "You weld this in your garage?" Leonard nodded. "Want the specs?" As paramedics tended to the injured prisoner, Sarah checked the van's footage and spotted something odd. The escapee, Nathan Harper, wasn't running like a desperate man. He moved calmly, glancing back just once, dropping a piece of paper. Sarah picked at UPA child's crayon drawing of Willow Creek Elementary, with a tiny QR code sketched near the back. This wasn't a random escape. Nathan had a plan. Back at Leonard's basement, HOA headquarters faced a Zoom grilling from board president Harold Vance. UVY OLAT 12 codes, 3 ordinances, and possibly international law, Harold snapped. Leonard countered, "Not one kid got hurt." Harold groaned. "You blew up a sheriff's van." As the board debated whether to ban Leonard or crown him Chaos King, Mia livestreamed the drama to her 40,000 followers. "Y'all, Dad's turned the school into a war zone," she said, her phone capturing every glorious second. Meanwhile, Sarah dug into Nathan's file. Updated 2 days before the crash, it screamed setup, fraud, embezzlement, hacking charges tied to an edtech startup for kids. It didn't add up. Nathan didn't look like a crook. He looked like a guy trying to prove something. She VY cited Principal Evelyn Marsh, a woman whose office screamed Control 3 motivational posters. 1 crossbow, 0 patience. Nathan Harper? Evelyn scoffed. He tried sneaking shady software into our library. But Sarah caught her hand twitch, her fancy new smartwatch glinting. Something was off. Leonard, now suspended from HOA duties, sulked his garage, his spike strip retired like a fallen soldier. Mia patted his shoulder. You almost killed someone, Dad. He nodded. But I slowed traffic. She sighed. You're hopeless. He grinned. I'm consistent. Then Sarah's radio crackled. Nathan had been spotted behind the school, digging. She raced to the scene, the setting sun casting eerie shadows over the playground. Near the utility shed, she found freshly turned dirt. No body, just a waterproof box with flash drives labeled WC Curriculum Beta. Jackpot. On an air-gapped laptop, Sarah cracked the files, encrypted logs, app notes, and school system code. Nathan's software wasn't stealing, it was tracking theft, designed to catch someone siphoning grant money. And that someone? Evelyn Marsh. Sarah confronted her at school. No pleasantries. I need the server room. Now. Evelyn played dumb. You'll need a warrant. Sarah smiled. Got one. Oh, and we found your buried treasure out back. Evelyn's cool cracked. She lunged for the server's power switch, but Sarah tackled her. You're done, she snapped. The tech team confirmed it. Evelyn had routed stolen funds through fake accounts, using Nathan's software to cover her tracks. Across town, Leonard wasn't done fighting. His security cameras left up for maintenance caught Evelyn and 2 maintenance guys loading hard drives into a van. Barred from calling the cops, Leonard rallied his retiree posse. Carl, ex-Coast Guard, Doris, former NASA tech, Frank, binoculars enthusiast, and Mabel, still rocking her 1989 pageant sash. Operation Sprinkler Strike, Leonard declared, handing out laminated plans. They hit the van with modified sprinklers spraying foam and dye. It crashed into a curb, and the crew descended Carl with a hoe, Frank blaring his scooter horn, Mabel VYing her sash like a battle flag. It was glorious. Sarah arrived, torn between horror and awe. Leonard had meddled again, but he'd nabbed the last piece of Evelyn's scheme. The van's drives matched the school's, and the driver's Evelyn's fake ID tech goons spilled everything. Leonard got a brief arrest for interference, but Sarah vouched for him. He's a raccoon with a badge, she told her captain, but he found the right dumpster. The case exploded. Evelyn's fraud wasn't local, it spanned the state, with Nathan's software exposing other corrupt districts. Sarah handed the drives to the cybercrime DVY Shaun, knowing this was bigger than her. Nathan, still a fugitive, was the final piece. She remembered his glance at the crash, not at the chaos, but at a group of kids. Checking the school roster, she found Lily Harper, his daughter. Nathan wasn't running. He was watching her. Sarah staked out the school and spotted him near the recess yard, hood up, eyes sharp. It's over, she called. Evelyn's in custody. We found the drives. You were right. Nathan turned, exhausted but focused. You decrypted them? She nodded. Enough to nail her. But we need you to seal it. He agreed, on one condition. My daughter stays out of this. At the station, Nathan laid it bare. His software flagged shady school funds diverted to crypto wallets. When he confronted Evelyn, she framed him, spinning him into a hacker. The spike strip crash was dumb luck, but it gave him a shot to expose her. With his help, Sarah traced the full scam, fake grants, dummy accounts, offshore transfers. Evelyn wasn't alone. Her consultants tied to a statewide ring. The story hit the news, but not for the fraud. Leonard's senior strike force stole the spotlight, fueled by Mia's VY Ral VY Deos. A clip of Leonard hurling a gnome at the van became a global meme. He went from disgrace to folk hero, his spike for justice merch flying off shelves. Mia managed his fame, launching a YouTube channel for his neighborhood defense 101 rants. Sarah got a cybercrime promotion, but not before VY citing Nathan, now aiding secure ed tech. If Leonard hadn't spiked that van, he said, none of this would have broken. Sarah laughed. Sometimes the neighborhood needs a little crazy. Leonard stood on his porch, sipping from a new mug, certified chaos agent. The school buses rolled by, slow and orderly. He nodded. He'd won. Now what do you think? Was Leonard a hero for exposing corruption, or a reckless vigilante who endangered lives? Should Nathan have gone public sooner, or was his covert plan the only way? And what about Sarah? Did she let Leonard off too easy, or was his chaos the key to justice? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more wild stories. Let's hear it.